why I even have a 2 week rule for playing the bagpipes when I've been playing the bagpipes since I was 9 years old. But I do have a 2 week rule, and for me, it's more when I've had a period of time when I've been away from practicing consistently. I haven't been on my pipes or my practice chanter very often. Then I apply this 2 week rule when I'm getting back into playing. And what's this 2 week rule all about, you may be wondering? Well, if you're learning the pipes, the practice chanter, just getting started, transitioning to the big pipes, wherever you're at in your big pipe journey, if you've been feeling frustrated, feeling like you're beating yourself up, feeling like you should be further ahead, that's why I have this 2 week rule, because of the frustration I've felt with trying to get back into playing the pipes or one of my other instruments after some time away. Just feeling like my fingers shouldn't be as stiff, feeling like I should be able to play quicker, feeling like I should have that song memorized better, feeling like my lips shouldn't be giving out so soon. All these pieces are enough to discourage me, drive me up the wall, and unfortunately, after a long period of not practicing, feel like I just want to chuck my instrument in the basement and not look at those pipes for even longer, because it's not a fun process to get back into it. So I developed this 2 week rule to help curb and get over that frustration. And if you've had some of these piping frustrations, if you haven't already, you might enjoy my 3-step guide to get bagpipe ready. I'll put the link below the video, and it expands on this concept that I'm calling the 2 week rule today into 3 different steps that can help guide your daily bagpipe practice. So any case, with me, and just why this is fresh on my mind, in Canada here, we recently had Remembrance Day, so I played my pipes for it. I played my trumpet last post, and this year I've actually been quite consistent with my bagpipe practicing as per this YouTube channel and Get Bagpipe Ready experiment I've been running. So thank you so much for your involvement, because it's making me consistent with my practice as well. But in previous years, I hadn't been keeping up to my pipes, especially in the summer. It's nice outside if I'm not piping as much, and then all of a sudden it's fall time. In November, that's when in Canada we have a Remembrance Day, and without fail, I always pipe at the ceremonies. So, it can be a rude shock to the fingers, to the breathing, to hop back on the pipes all of a sudden. And not just the pipes, I'm still very guilty of the trumpet. I'll go all summer, if not all year, not playing at all, and then have to hit all those high notes on the last post for playing the trumpet. And I find I can jump back into piping easier, still with its frustration, but easier than the trumpet. It just takes so long to get the embouchure around my lips with the trumpet. So, to help ease that frustration with getting back into it, especially around Remembrance Day, I gave myself a 2 week rule where for the next 2 weeks of playing, when I'm getting back into piping or back into the trumpet, the next 2 weeks of playing, I totally give myself permission to screw up. In fact, I absolutely love that I screw up. The more I screw up, the better. I don't care if I'm in tune. I don't care if I'm making mistakes. I don't care about bad habits. I don't care about anything. All I care about is showing up and playing for a few minutes every single day without fail. And I welcome the screw-ups along the way. And you might be thinking, well, that's all the 2 week rule is, Alec? Well, yes, but let me get into it and explain why this is so important. All that beating up we do to ourselves when we're frustrated with our playing is taking enormous amounts of energy, and it's taking the joy away from playing the instrument too. It doesn't make us want to very badly go back to learn the instrument when it's always a horrible experience. So there's that psychological piece to it, but there's also the learning piece to it. A lot of pipers I talk to worry about developing bad habits. They think they need an instructor before they even get started on the practice chanter. And I say, yes, an instructor is nice, but the important thing is to just get started. Do a few minutes every day. Welcome the screw-ups. There's that fear that somehow, if you mess up, you're going to develop a bad habit that you can never change. Well, I'm here to say a bad habit's better than no habit. It's better to be playing and learning the instrument than not starting at all or not practicing at all. And bad habits, a lot of people worry about that, but I think it's more of a myth. Taking this 2 week rule, let's apply it to a 1-year-old. When you were 1 and when you were just learning how to walk, you didn't say to yourself, okay, and your parents didn't say to you, okay, you shouldn't fall down, you shouldn't make any mistakes, you should put one foot in front of the other in good balance, not have any errors in learning how to walk. We would never do that to a 1-year-old who's just learning how to walk. In fact, we do far the opposite. I've seen new parents who are so excited their 1-year-old's walking, and they go to show you and they lift the kid up onto their feet, and the kid kind of wobbles and falls over. And the parents cheer and cheer and cheer and say, well done, you did it, you're walking, you're walking. And the kid looks up and their parents are so enthusiastic, the kid stands up, wobbles, and falls again. And the parents think the kid's walking, and the 1-year-old is ecstatic, they're pleasing their parents. We need that kind of cheerleader around us when we're learning the bagpipes, because we're gonna make a lot of screw-ups. Just, but when we encourage a 1-year-old, they fall down, get up, try it again. Okay, you're doing so good. That's what we need when we're playing the bagpipes. Now, probably, I could be wrong, probably your parents, your spouse, your sibling, your friend probably isn't doing that when you're learning the practice chanter or getting on the pipes for the first time. They're probably headed for a quiet spot, maybe on the other side of the house or maybe even across town. We can get some interesting noises out of our instrument when we're learning. But the important thing here is, you need that cheerleader. You need to welcome those screw-ups and be excited that, hey, you're trying, you're making progress, you're showing up. Screwing up is how the brain is going to learn how to play this crazy instrument. But the fact of the matter is, you're probably not as cute as you were when you were 1. So everybody around you isn't being that cheerleader for you. As we age, as we grow and develop, we have to fulfill that role ourselves. And that's part of this 2-week rule, is not only are you giving yourself permission to screw up, but I'm also just ecstatic every time I play for those 2 weeks, just because I'm working at it. If it's out of tune, that's okay. If the fingers aren't doing quite what you're telling them, that's okay. Just be ecstatic that you're showing up, you're playing, you're doing it, because I trust you. If you do that for 2 weeks every day, take a video of yourself that first day, take a video of yourself on the last day after 2 weeks, you're going to be shocked at how better you are, how much you actually improve. When we shift the focus off perfection and off improvement, then we actually allow the brain to learn with the repetition and do its own improvement without us kind of, overseeing and over managing that whole process. So what we can do is we can be our own cheerleader for 2 weeks, and we can give ourselves permission and welcome and celebrate those screw-ups in our practicing for 2 weeks. And I trust you in those 2 weeks, just even a few minutes every day. It doesn't have to be for hours and hours. You are going to move forward in your bagpipe journey. So that's my 2-week rule. That's how I got into developing it around the Remembrance Day with both my bagpipes and my trumpet, as I mentioned. And this 2-week rule is, it's really part of my 3-step guide. So if you want to learn more, if you haven't already, you can click on the link I'll put below this video to get my 3-step guide to get bagpipe ready. And, until next time, keep on playing, keep on showing up, celebrate showing up, welcome the screw-ups, be your own bagpipe cheerleader. Until next time, happy piping.